Hey guys, this is Kamikan, and I think I'm live now. Just had a couple issues with the internet, but I think it should be good. But let me see. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me test to make sure. Name, audio, microphone. Oh, okay, here. That should be better. All right. What else? Let's see. All right. Hey, what's up, Ichthys? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out. Um, and I'm trying to connect my iPad as well, so that would only take a second. Here we go. Go to QuickTime Player. New recording. Okay. All right, sick. That should be connected now too. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Share screen, share screen, share screen, share screen. Entire screen. Here we go. Share. Oh, hell no. Okay, there we go. Okay. Awesome. That should show you what I've got going on my iPad screen. Dope. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me, and I'll just continue the stream like this. So that is charged up. That's ready to go. Let's see how long my phone camera can last. Hey, what's up, Kobe? How you doing, man? Let me see. I think. Okay, dope. Okay, good. Y'all can hear me. Awesome. Appreciate y'all. All right. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of draw until somebody takes me off topic, and then I'll just scroll around on my iPad and go through Pinterest because that's my favorite thing to do in the world. If I'm not doing anything else, Pinterest is like been my number one addiction for I don't know how many years, man. Like, I never got into drugs or like alcohol as a serious addiction, but it was always Pinterest for me. So yeah, I just find like the best art on there, man. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just that much of an interesting that I'm always finding new things, new things to get interested in on Pinterest. So yeah, that's the only thing. Let me I'm trying to find a layer where I started um the what's it called? The perspective in the background. Uh let me see if this will work finally. Nope, it won't. Okay, so I have to do it on here. Ictus, he says, how's the journey to becoming a full-time artist going? Uh yeah, the way well right now it's like I'm doing like random day jobs here and there and just trying to figure out like how to get my finances back on track. And so I've looked into like stuff like Dave Ramsey and Caleb Hammer and all that stuff. Dan Fan was the one that suggested Caleb Hammer. And I just like how sure Dave Ramsey sounds when it comes to like personal finance. So I've been listening to his videos a lot more. And I've almost saved up to $1,000 in terms of my emergency fund. So that is like the first thing that I'm doing to like get back on track. And then afterwards I'll be getting out of all the debt that I have, like all the consumer debt. And then from there I'm probably gonna celebrate by trying to get my motorcycle fixed and some other things that I actually want to do. But for now, it's just going to jobs, and I should be working more than I currently am, and I'm working pretty much every day just to get out of this rut basically. And yeah, that's how the journey is going right now. Every day I'm still putting out the videos that I have to put out for the day, and working on Saintly, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm almost done. Like, this is like the last page that needs to be inked or created. So before I start doing all the flats for the pages and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working on right now. In fact, I still have more to say on that, but I want to say hello to Star Arter Kale. Show. Let me see. Hide. Show. Am I missing? Okay, y'all can see me, hear me. All right. What's up, Star? How you doing, man? Or lady? I don't know. But hello. Um. Hey. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man? I'm just getting started now, so I'm just gonna try to get into some drawings, and if I get bored, I'll probably just go on Pinterest and start scrolling again. Because right now I'm trying to figure out ways to incorporate more of the style that I like into Saintly, like into the following chapters of Saintly, not just chapter one. Let me make this later. Okay, cool. Let me see. Perspective lines. Oh, please don't tell me I did that. Let's see. Oh, sick. Okay, cool. So I found that. No, this file is so old. Oh, are you kidding me? Ugh. Okay. I was about to say this file is so old. I'm pretty sure this pen can last the whole stream for the most part. And then once it dies, I'll just go to Pinterest and mess around on there. But yeah, this file is so old. I'm still figuring out where everything is. And you'd think uh a page like this would just be maybe a few, what's the word, layers. But no, it turned out to be hundreds and hundreds, and I was just like, well, not hundreds, but it turned out to be a whole lot more than I was expecting. And I was just like, why is there so many goddamn layers on this thing? I don't even like, I don't even draw that much, and it's got all these layers. Like, if I did it all on the page, I think it would be it might be easier to just do it on the page, but I don't like drawing trees, so I think having that as like a little like cheat in there to as a shortcut is a lot. I prefer that, but let me see. It's actually really hard for me to work and talk at the same time. That's like the hardest thing that I always thought about streaming, but because it's just finished work, like I'm just finishing off pages and it doesn't require too much thinking. I can just kind of do it and not really worry about the result, because most of this is already done for the most part, and I'm just adding in details, putting lines where they need to go, stuff like that. So little things like that are just what I'm working on with this piece now. And this is just page one. So page one is pretty much done. And then after that, are those going to that line? Yeah, they are. Okay. Yeah, as long as they're following the perspective, that's good. Okay, and it's showing up on the stream. That's good. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I forgot about the music. Let me put on the background music. That always kind of Let me see. Which one? Which one? Background music. Acoustic cinematic. I'd have to listen to it a little bit on the. No. All right, I'll just go with feeding the ducks. That one is pretty regular. Okay. Comments. Cool. All right, let me. I'm gonna try to do this layout. Yeah, that should be better. Nice. Okay. Yeah, and I'll just chill out and draw. Yeah, one of the things I'm doing these days to try to get faster at drawing is I'll have my drawing pad next to me when, like, next to my bed. So when I go to sleep, before I go to sleep, I'll draw like 5 figures. I'll just draw something. I'll draw some stuff before going to sleep. And then when I wake up, I'll draw even more. So I'll draw 5 figures when I wake up. And I just have that as a new discipline that I'm doing to try to improve my speed. I'm trying to get as fast as like guys like Third PHP, DD Mark. I'm trying to make stuff, man. Like I'm trying to create my comic a lot faster. I'm trying to make it a lot faster because it was too long in create. Like it took way too long to create this first chapter of Saintly. Like I probably started in May, and it was only 31 pages, and I thought I could knock that out in like 3 months tops. 3 months tops. And no, it did not take 3 months. And I think a large part of that was that I just jumped into the creation of Saintly. I didn't really have any character designs. For one, I didn't have any character designs. I was just the only character designs I had were the main 2 characters, Vivi and Chelsea. And I figured out the rest of the character designs as I went along, because that was just how I planned it. I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep in terms of thinking about like, oh, what should I do? What should I draw? I'm just gonna jump right into it and get started. But that was the thing that mainly slowed me down after getting some chapters or some pages done, where I had the pages mainly done, but I didn't know how I wanted the characters to look, because how the characters look is based on their personality, and I didn't even have their basic personalities figured out, because the script, even that wasn't 100% done by the time I started drawing pages. So even now I'm making tweaks, but now that I have a better idea of like the characters, who they are, and that kind of thing, it's definitely going to be helpful in the chapters going forward, but yeah, most of that stuff I didn't figure out until the very, very last minute, and that's how I finally got large chunks of the chapters done because I figured out the characters' looks and how they would be portrayed for the rest of the book. So I was like, okay, cool. Now I got that, and hopefully, because I know what the characters look like, chapter 2 and then chapter 3 and all chapters following it would be much faster. There's a whole bunch of mistakes that I can completely avoid now that I know um what it took to make chapter 1 saintly, because that, let me see, here we go, let's see how it's looking. There we go. Because now I just have gone through the process of making a comic again, so I can avoid major mistakes like that. And that's just the kind of stuff you'll go through as a creator. Like when you think a project's going to take a certain amount of time and then it doesn't. Hold on. Let me make sure this stream isn't, what's the word? Isn't like rated for kids or something like that. I have to go into the back end, make sure it's for everybody so that it isn't just what's the word? It isn't like shutting down comments because only kids are allowed to watch. Let me go into my videos. Create a studio. It says, oh yeah, that was a weird glitch. Let's pick this. Yeah, that is a weird glitch. And like I have to make sure in the channel that it's not actually checked. Okay, so it doesn't have that, but it has, let me go to the live. Okay, here we go. And then I'm waiting for the buttons that allow me to edit details. Okay. Says I need to answer the question. No, it wasn't made for kids. Okay, save. All right. So that should be good. Dope. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and draw here. Yeah, I went to a dishwashing job today, and it was at a hotel. And the best thing about dishwashing jobs is that there's always food involved, so you can get some free food every time. And I had some nice lunch, and that was it. I just had a nice lunch, and there was nice food just all around involved in the process. And then I came straight back here. It wasn't too far away from my house this time, so I could just kind of get ready for the stream and then jump right in. That's why I set it for 9 instead of 9:30 today, because today was the job ended at 8. So I was just like, okay, I can come in and do a little bit of drawing on stream first and then go to sleep and get ready for the same job tomorrow. That one is it was actually really lax today, so it wasn't too bad, too overbearing. It was nice. Star says any job that involves free food is the best. Yep. Yep. It is. It helps me, like, for one, it helps me save on groceries. Like, I don't have to buy any groceries for whenever I get free food, or can take home some food. Like, that's always like just another little added benefit to dishwashing jobs or dishwashing gigs. And or if you're a cook, like you're a cook, a line cook on doing a gig like that, then you get free food that way as well. Man. All right, here we go. These are details that people are just gonna glance past on the first page and then just move right on to the next, right on through the story. I don't need to focus so heavily on it, on all this stuff, but I just need to do enough to make the setting convincing so that it doesn't throw you out of the story immediately, like from page one. In fact, I'll probably redo this panel once I release like a graphic novel version, so that I can nail down the first page and get people invested in the story on page one. Because page one is like that all important thing. Like, the first two panels of your story have to be like the strongest draw, the strongest pull into the story proper, because if those first two panels aren't hitting, then people just drop the story. They just drop out, and they don't even tell you that they dropped out. Like, those first two panels have to be like on top of it. They have to be really good. Or they don't have to be, it's not that they have to be drawn well. They have to be interesting. Like, they have to be interesting enough on their own, on the surface of it, to get people involved, like get the reader hooked into the story. If those first two panels are lacking, if they don't have the stuff to really bring the reader in, then the reader just taps out. Like, they don't give you a second chance, really, unless somebody else, like a friend, recommends your book to them and will like help that person get back into your work. Hey, KC, or your name always comes up as like Yo-Yo Giggity or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I was like, okay, good. You came through. All right. He said, in a video you mentioned atomizing emotions and making them flow from character to character and panel to panel. How exactly do you do that? How exactly did I do that? That's why I was saying, like, in your comment that is like kind of hard to explain, but let me see if there's a way I can explain it, because it's kind of easy. It's easy to do with manga, or it's easy to do with manga that's already created, but I think it would be easier to do with Saintly, because I just did that. So if I go through Saintly, where is it? Saintly. Nope. Here we go. Okay. So are these the inked pages there? Okay, cool. So what I mean by atomizing emotions and making them flow from panel to panel, character to character, panel to panel. How the hell do I even like start explaining that? So the most important thing in a manga is how the characters' emotions are flowing from panel, like how they're changing and evolving from panel to panel. Like, you want to engage the reader on that emotional level where the character isn't just feeling the same thing on every single page. So we have the introduction of the main character. She's literally pushing somebody out of the way. So you can tell physically like that she's a pushy type of character. Um like you can tell just off the right off the bat, like, oh, this character is a pushy type of character. But you can see, so atomizing each motion. Okay, there's an example later in the story that kind of helps explain this. So little things like here in this panel where you see the main character, she's kind of like uh putting her face down, not really enjoying the moment, and then her friend raises her hand up to volunteer her for something that she didn't want to volunteer for, and then she gets angry, and then she bites her friend's hand in comedic fashion, and then her friend smacks her in the head, but she's so focused on explaining her point that she doesn't even notice that she's getting smacked. um that's one, like one, two, three, four. And then people are asking her questions like, yo, like what's going on here with the situation? And then now she's nervous. Like we focus on her nervous expression. So what I mean by atomizing is we're taking the reader through the emotional experience with every single face that she makes. Like she doesn't stay static in her expressiveness throughout the page. If you want somebody to feel what the character is feeling, then you want to take them through the process of their emotional expression rather than just tell the reader what they're feeling. Like I could tell the reader that she's feeling nervous in this moment, or I could just show a panel of her face like looking down and gritting her teeth. um if we read the there is a page, let me it should be written down here. Let's see. Okay. So their friend, their mutual friend, the one in the police beret, she's like asking Chelsea to get involved in in the scene. Chelsea's more of a passive type character, so she's like, Chelsea, don't you have anything to say? And then she's nervous because she's like getting called out for not saying anything, and then her friend jumps in, like the main character jumps in, and it's just like before she can even say anything, she jumps in. And then we see that their friend is like trying to draw a hard line, like unless you change up, like this movie is not gonna go forward. um and then we have this expression, like she's addressing the friend, and then we have this expression where the friend's like still passive, still not trying to say anything, and then we see her look at her one more time and just like, yeah, okay. And then she turns around fully and goes on about her business. So let me see. Okay, we got some kind of weird stuff going on in the comments here. What the hell? All right. Where is? Yeah, I've never seen this before. That's kind of weird. I've never seen that. Let me see. Is that possible? Delete, put user in timeout. I guess ban and delete their comments. I don't know. Okay. Wob. I guess ban and delete their comments. That's good. Yeah, I've never had the need for mods because I'm always just doing this by myself. But yeah, that was weird. I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool. Uh, what's up, Dale? How you doing, man? Um, yep, trolls always invading. Uh, and yeah, like the full of emotions. That might be this. That's why I said that might be the topic of a longer video to actually explain how to do it, because I'm just kind of showing you the surface level of it. Like the faces are changing, but it's more like, because I've been thinking about it ever since you asked that, KC. Where in a scene there's a character, like a main character, and they have an object of desire. They have something that they want. Um and then they what's the word? They have an object of desire. They have something that they want. And then the other character in the scene has something that they also want that may be in opposition to what the main character wants. And so instead of just we have that conflict, and we show the dramatization of the conflict between the two characters. And instead of just saying like, oh, and the two characters fought it out, we dramatize. And what that means is we show the process of the characters going through each separate emotion to arrive at the final conclusion of the scene, at the what's the word, the climax, and then the resolution of the scene. Let's see. We got Diarrhea Gaming. Wow. Yo, I'm drawing my manga too right now. Dope. Dope. Awesome, man. Keep going, dude. Welcome to the stream, man. Let's see. VNet Fad. Hey, man, what's up? I watched your video about how you learned to draw manga and stuff, and wondering, do you watch anything to learn now? Yeah, man, I watched a whole bunch of stuff, man. I'm watching Japanese people talk about how they got into drawing and how they got into manga. And because I understand so much of the language at this point, I'm able to figure out what they're saying based on the context clues of the video. And I've listened to so much manga content in the past that I can like understand like, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about in the video. So I'm watching Japanese people and what they're saying and how they learn to draw, and Japanese animators as well. So I'm watching them. I'm watching this guy, Third PHP. He also draws a lot of manga and anime. Like he draws in that style, but he's also really good. Like he draws in a really dynamic style. So I'm learning how to draw faster just by watching him draw fast. If it was like what's the word? If I was not doing like saintly pages, I would be doing like a DRAWStream like that, but I'm definitely not known for my drawing. I'm just not that good yet. So yeah, that's what I watch to learn nowadays. And I just want to keep my mind in general like focused on the process of learning how to draw better and faster. Like I just want to keep that content circulating in my feed so that I'm just thinking about it in general rather than trying to what's the word, rather than trying to get the engine started. Like I'll always have it greased. Makes sense. Star Kale said for my two first panel, it's a really slow. I want to show of the world building. Also, I love your art style. I appreciate that. Thank you for looking at it. Um, if you're up for it, we can take a look at your first two panels of your comic and see if it passes the two panel test that we do in my writing mastermind group. Like if it's too slow, uh people will people will might tap out, or if it's got a whole bunch of dialogue, if it's got a whole bunch of like writing, or if it's got a whole what's the word, exposition dump in the first two panels, you're cooked. Like people don't want to read all that at the beginning. Like imagine if Dragon Ball started off the manga story with all the lore about Saiyans and the Saiyan race and all that stuff. Imagine if the manga started that way. People would be like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't care, man." Like they would not care about the Saiyans from page 1. They don't even know what a Saiyan is. So people only started to care after they got to know Goku, they got to know Bulma, they got to know Yamcha and all those characters. They what you want to do with those first two panels is put us in the middle of a conflict, of something going on, right? Just jump us right into the story so that we are in the process of doing something. It could be anything, but as long as we're in the process of doing something, then people are more will give you more leeway to show them other things that you have planned for them. People these days, you got to be aware of the zeitgeist. You got to be aware of what people are looking for in terms of their storytelling these days, so that you can find better and better ways to hook them from the first two panels. Like even in One Punch Man, the first two panels like hook you, and not even in the well-drawn version of One Punch Man, in the shitty version of One Punch Man, the first two panels will still hook you and then pull you into the rest of the story, because they're it's just jumping you right into an event that's taking place. Like something that's happening is the first thing you want to start your comic with. um Yeah, Diarrhea Gaming, you're correct. You should hook your readers at the start. And you don't even have that many pages to hook your readers these days. Even if you gave them like 3 pages of what do you call it? Exposition. After page 2, people are cooked. Like people are just dropping out. Like we don't even care. Two pages of just exposition, no, we're gone. Like, and they won't even say anything, they'll just bounce off your comic. And he said, how do I decide what the object of desire is? So that is based on like two different factors. Like the object of desire for your main character is based on the scene that you're trying to convey, but it's also based on what's the word, it's also based on the genre of story that you're trying to tell, and then the theme that you are trying to communicate to the reader. So what the main character wants in that scene, in the scene that or the object of desire in that scene, should be the what do you call it, should connect somewhat to the theme and connect to uh the genre of the story. So if it's like a fantasy story, it could be like um they are trying to get like they're trying to defeat a monster in that first scene. Like we're trying to, our object of desire is to defeat this monster. Or let's say it's a let's say a chess comic, and the object of desire is for them to beat this chess master, or to beat, like, make this next move. It doesn't even have to be something like overarching or big. In my first scene in saintly. The object of desire is just for, let me see. Oh yeah. In case he said you could just have somebody scream. Somebody did scream. So like in the first panel, like it's just a scream showed. And I'm gonna change the what's the word? Improve the wording behind that. But yeah. So panel one is a scream. It's kind of engaging in the way it's drawn, and it leads right into the place where they're at. Then we got panel two. It's like look out, and then what's going on here? Is it something serious, something bad? Like a hand comes, and then boom on the end of the first page, we end on like a cliffhanger type thing. Like, oh, where's his hand? It's grabbing this guy. Like, is it from a monster? Is it like dangerous? Like, because this is a horror story, so it's ending on something like that, and then boom, we get the reveal. Oh, it's just some girl with glasses or whatever. Um, but it's the main character, and that's you can tell it's the main character because she has a full body shot of her, and she's standing there. You know, like she's the only one on the page that gets a full body shot. We get a shot of her eyes, and that's how you know like those two things are going to be important for the story. So she's the main character, and then she's got eyes that are kind of weird, like they're not normal. They kind of almost look like a lens or something like that. But that just means those things will come into play in the future of that story. So let me see what else. What's up? Paul says one of the problems I have is too many ideas. I start a story and another idea pops into my head. Do you ever have that problem, and how do you overcome that? Man, when I was younger, dude, I had so many ideas for stories. I was just bursting with them all the time. And what I would do is I would write them down and I would draw some of them out. I would draw pictures of them and I'd be like, oh man, this is gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be better than, and I was making stuff, I was making those comics, writing those stories because I wanted to be make stuff better. I was 12 and I wanted to draw stuff better than like let's say Rave Master or like Kakaishi. Like I was like, oh yeah, I could do better than that, and I just started drawing stuff based on that stuff. And I was reading stuff like Monster, um, and a lot of other obscure manga back then, so that I could get an idea for, okay, this is the type of story that interests me. Let me make stuff that is interesting like that, like Great Teacher Onizuka or stuff like that. So um the the way you like overcome that is by picking one to commit to and then doing a short version of that. Pick the one that seems most interesting to you, or ask a friend whose taste that you trust, and ask him which one he's the most excited by. And then if your idea is to eventually like sell or make something that would connect with a lot more people, ask somebody else that is either a writer, somebody uninvolved, or somebody who would be able to give you uh non-biased feedback and get their opinion on which story they would like to hear more of, and then that's the one that you do, and just do a 10-page thing on it. Don't make it too elaborate, don't make it too long, don't try to make it your masterpiece or your opus magnum. It's going to be 10 pages so that you can actually finish it. And that's what I did with a story I did a long time ago called Class A. It was the first comic that I did after I stopped being homeless, and my what do you call it? My Where the hell is it? My switch from the mobile app to the web app. What the hell? What the fuck? Just get me to my account now. Oh my god. Fuck. Well, then how do I switch then? Just go to... Hold on. Oh, you know what? I could just go to my Dropbox. Yeah, anyways, it was this comic that I did called now everybody's asking about me being homeless. Yeah, that was a a long story, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Let me go to the comic. Where is that thing? No. Files. And then lead magnet. Class A. Okay. Yes. So I did a 10-page story called Class A, and that took 6 months for me to do because I was just so my what do you call it? My work ethic was completely trashed after being homeless for a while, because I was just like, yeah, I'm going to quit drawing and I'm going to try to travel the world and learn boxing and do all this stuff, and that didn't turn out. So I had to get back into drawing because I tried to give it up to see if I would be interested genuinely in anything else, but no, it just, I had to come back to drawing, and it found me again. So I drew this 10-page comic. It's in my email list if you sign up. Like, it'll be one of the comics that you get along with Air Rider 1 and 2 and Saintly. And this was like my first foray into doing something horror. Like, it was supposed to be like action horror, and that's what Saintly is as well. But it featured like this weird little fucking like alien dude like this. Like, I call it a praying Mavis, and I don't even know how it came up with this, but it was just like, I guess I'll make a weird guy, and then yeah, it was a fun comic to do. It was like, I took a long time. Like, I had to figure out like, okay, what's this panel gonna be like, and then boom, he like blows him away, and it's just like, bam, his whole top half is gone. And I got that type of violence from freaking reading Invincible and stuff like that. And the two main, like, this guy is the main character, and he wasn't really involved until the end, and this is his friend right here, and then they both go to try to take out this monster, and then he says Nani, and I just thought that was hilarious. When I was a kid, I was just like, well, I was about 20 or 21 when I drew this. So yeah, I just thought that was the most hilarious thing. And so then I got like a 3-panel shot of them like standing there, and this thing dies. But yeah, that's the thing about what's the word? Making an idea. Like, you have to just choose one and go. Like, what's the most exciting one to you? And then just do it, no matter how bad it turns out, because just doing it, you'll learn more than if you just sit there and think about it for years and years. Like, if you just try it, just try something, then it will turn out one way or another, and then that will give you like a nice baseline for improvement. All right, so Star says, my story starts with the main villain quest to set up events. Is that okay? As long as it's interesting, it's okay. Because the only requirement for the first 2 panels or the first 2 pages is to be interesting. Like, if it leads up to the events, that's totally fine, but it has to be in an interesting way, and it can't be a fake out. So as long as you're not faking people out or doing like a huge flash forward, the events have to be like interesting enough to draw you in on those first two panels, and then go forward. Let's see. KC said, "Why is it showing up as KC rather than like Yo Giggity, whatever your name is?" Whenever I see it, what exactly is a theme, and how do I come up with it? I don't even know what a theme is, to be honest. It's like a 2 sentence summary that summarizes the main point of your story, and what the type of change that the reader will get from reading your story. So how does your reader feel before reading your story, and then how will the reader feel after after they finish reading your story? Like, how are you trying to change what they think about the world and their place in it by the end of the story? And that's your theme. Your theme, the best way that I understood theme, and I'll get to you, Drew Powell. I'll get to that question. The best way to that I learned how to do theme was from I actually have a document that houses all of my writing tools, or writing friggin' what do you call it? All of my writing that tips and tricks and things that I've learned over the years that I put on one document so that I could quickly reference back to it all the time. And at one of the top things that is on my list is my story grid notes, the notes from that I took from story grid, because those have been like the most helpful in helping me like figure out how to step by step figure out a story. And this one video helped me with theme the best. And after watching those videos and going through them like step by step, I figured out how to craft a theme. That a theme for your story is so important that if you get it right, for your story, every event should connect back to your theme. And if you ever get stuck in your story on what a theme, on what should happen next in the story, just reference your theme, and then it'll automatically make a way. Like you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what should happen because this is the theme of the story. It should echo throughout your entire story. So if you watch this exact video called 3 Steps to Develop Your Story Theme by Story Grid, then that will help you come up with a great theme for your story. I don't know how I can post the link in my chat. I don't think YouTube allows that. But yeah, this is the video you want to watch. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to get like copyright struck. But yeah, this is the video you want to watch. It's 17 minutes. This is the one that I always watch whenever I'm coming up with a new theme for whatever story I'm working on, and it will just help you create that guideline for your stories. So let me go through the comments in order. VNet Fad, he says, damn, you're homeless. Yes, I was for like 60 days, and that was to figure out a lot of things about life, because I was like really sheltered as a kid. How was it being homeless? Being homeless was like the most freeing experience I felt in my entire life. It was the most freedom I ever felt in my life up until that point, and I was only like 20 years old, but it felt like it felt like an adventure. Like, it felt like this is what an adventure is supposed to feel like, and that's what being homeless was like. It wasn't like all sunshine and rainbows, but I was like, there is nothing else going on except for what is happening right here in front of me. Every single day, you're just like 100% turned on like you're 100% paying attention to everything, because if you let your guard down, or if you stop paying attention, then you're gonna miss it, or you're th- it's like when you're doing your daily day to day living, you're kind of half going through it because you already know what's gonna happen in the day. But when you're homeless, you never know what's gonna happen on the from one day to the next, or from 1 hour to the next. You're just like, what the hell am I doing, or what's going on? But you're paying attention, and your eyes are open because uh you have to be alert when you're homeless. Like you have to be like seeing like, okay, this is what's happening, this is how this is turning out. You have to be aware of people and what they're doing. Like you can't just half-ass it. You can't just turn off like you're playing a video game, because you are in the video game, like you are in the TV show, the story. And it felt like a TV sitcom at times. Like it was a very interesting time. It was a great time. And there were times where I wish I could go back. Um, I met like four guys, and we were all living in a van together. And yeah, it was very interesting. But after that experience, like my mom was like, so what's the word? Like she was so like she didn't want me ever to leave again like that. She tossed away the phone that I had contact with them on, and I just never was able to see them again. So yeah, things like that happen. But I think I'll probably do a video on it at some point and go deeper into that. Okay, Drew Powell, he says, what happens if I have a villain as the protagonist and a hero as the protagonist? What the? Let me read that again. What happens if I have a villain as the protagonist and the hero as the protagonist? As the antagonist. Oh, okay. Well, the hero would just be the antagonist, and then the villain would just be the protagonist. But what you're defining them as in the story would be villain and hero. It would just be a label that you're putting on them. So that's a little bit different. Like um the role of antagonist and protagonist is always um so like, if I'm understanding correctly, let's say the protagonist is like the Dark Lord or whatever, and the protagonist is like the point of view character, like the person that we're following, who's doing things and moving things in the story. That would be the villain character, who's supposedly evil and doing evil things, and that's the character that we're following, because that's the point of view that you chose to follow throughout the story. And then the antagonist, who's trying to defeat that evil person, is the hero, who is the character that we're not following their point of view. Like we're not getting up close to them. We just know them as just the thing or the force that is trying to stop the protagonist, who is the evil villain. So yeah, you can totally do that. It just depends on what you're trying to say with that scheme. Like it depends on what you're trying to say. Diarrhea Gaming, he says, what do you think of the indie manga scene? The indie manga scene is full of guys who are really, really passionate about making manga, about making indie manga, because all of them, and myself included, want to be involved in Japanese manga in some way, but we can't really. So we have to kind of just do it with the tools and techniques that we have, and learn as much as we can to try to make something happen in the indie manga scene. So most the ones that we're hearing about now, like with White Manga and DD Mark and like Coffee Comics or Dog Nigga, like like those are the top that we see right now, versus everyone else, which either we don't hear about them and they're good, or we don't hear about them because they're bad. So most of the stuff that is bad is just not in people's radar, and then the stuff that is good but isn't marketed well is just going to be at the bottom anyway, because it's not being pushed towards us. um no, it's not ningen, it's nigga. It's dog nigga. But all right, so back to let's see. Drew Powell, he said, "What do you think of Saturday AM diverse manga BS?" Yeah, what I think about it is, like, I don't like the fact that they're using diversity like as a selling point, because the whole point of diversity, or like putting diversity in the stories, is fine in and of itself, but then making it a selling point is kind of like pandering. It's like, who, like, you're pandering to, I don't know, people who quote unquote like diversity, but they like it when it's not like it pushed in their face, like they're idiots or like they're dumb. Like, diversity in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's really good to see whenever different groups are being represented. But then if you make it like a main selling point, it's like, I already said it, it's like pandering. um and they don't need to pander. They don't need to use that selling point to sell their comics. If their comics are good, then it would stand on their own merits. Clock Striker is really good, and that's really the only comic that I read the full first chapter of and engaged with from all of Saturday AM. To be like really honest, I didn't make it through chapter 1 of Apple Black. Um and I've tried on several occasions, and I think I'll try again in the future just to see if I can make it through. But Apple Black, I feel like, is one of those comics that the main creator is like very attached to, because it was one of his first stories that he got off the ground and put out there. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to join the white manga contest, um and try to submit my work so that it would get chosen for, like, get chosen by white manga, and I could win these contests and get the markers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been going on that long, like so many years, to the point where it's hard for him to let go and try a new, different, or even better idea, because he's invested so much into it. And I think it would just be better if he went with something new, like tried something new, and then made something better with higher quality writing, so that people could really like get into it. um and that's not like a knock on him or anything, but that's just what I feel like, instead of holding on to this idea, let go of the idea, because that's what they do in Japan. Like, uh they say, oh, this is not working, let go of it so that you could just make something better. um and yeah, instead of using the diverse comic thing, yeah, exactly what Star Kale said, just let the comic speak for itself, let their comics speak for themselves. And if since they happen to have diversity, it then becomes this thing where people are proud to say, like, oh, and the main character is a black girl, like, oh, that's cool. Like, when it's not in your face, then it's like, okay, I can enjoy it, and it's diverse. Like, that just happens to be, it just happens to be diverse, rather than that's the main thing and we're pushing it in your face, and if you don't like it, you're racist. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. uh doesn't need to be a selling point for the comics. Let me see. Casey said, "How did you survive being homeless?" By just being aware all the time. I was mainly trying to figure out the secrets to life and whatnot, and by being aware of everything that was happening, even when it was unpleasant or bad, I was able to see things that and control my emotions and get into situations that were beneficial to me, even though I had nothing to my name. I didn't have any people I knew out there. I didn't have any contacts. I just went out there to figure out the secret to life, um and by being self-aware, I was able to navigate all of that situation. And then eventually my parents were like, contacted my relatives, and then my relatives got me a plane ticket to go visit them and leave California. So yeah, that was how I survived being homeless. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty fun. Um, Paul, he says, I'm working on a story about superhero. Superhero married to a supervillain and neither know the other's secret identity. Actually, that's a really premise for a romance story. And well, yeah, for a romance story. And it's I don't know if it's been done. I think it might have been done somewhere, somehow, in some way, shape, or form, but it's not um it's not like you can't just do it again. Like you could do it better. Uh, but that sounds like a fun idea that would be cool to put out there. Says to Drew Powell, there's tons of great comics with villains as the main character. Use them for inspiration. Yep, absolutely. Diarrhea Gaming says Dog Ningen unironically peak. Yeah, I mean, I've seen so much like good art through it, and the first um chapter was really fun. The few chapters were really fun. I just fell off of reading it because I had so much life stuff happen that I had to get out of it. But one day I'll probably get back into reading it and try to finish it. Because the one thing about it is that they actually put out a lot of content. Like they actually put out a lot of stories. Um, like they actually put out a lot of stuff. So there's like 40 something chapters of it. I'm like, yo, how are they doing this? Like the guy, I think the artist is Serbian Hero, the artist, and then the writer is DH Animations, and that guy's different, man. Like he's just super strong for no reason, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna draw like the premise of the story is so unhinged that I was just like, just on reading it, I burst out laughing. I was just like, I gotta see what this is about because this is ridiculous. So yeah, Dog Ningen is crazy for sure. Let's see. I think a lot of non-Japanese mangakas try hard to be Japanese. What is up with that? I think see Japan or they see Japanese and animation as like the highest artistic standard in the entire uh art world or comic world, and they just refuse to believe anything else could be as good. But well, it's not that they refuse to believe it, but it's hard for them to see like that other things are just as good. Like French animation is just as up there as Japanese stuff. French comics for sure. Franco-Belgian comics. Um, like there's American animations that are just as up there, like classic Disney stuff and all that kind of stuff. It's just that a lot of you said I think a lot of non-Japanese mangakas try hard to be Japanese. Um, I don't know if they're trying hard to be Japanese. I know I've in the past I've learned a lot of Japanese and I still know a lot of Japanese to this day because I'm learning it passively in the background. But a lot of the stuff that I'm learning is just so I can take their secrets and use it in my own work. But I don't think they're trying to be Japanese. I think they're just trying to they really respect their work ethic and their quality of work, and they want to try to emulate that in their stuff. Diary Gaming. Why is that your name, dude? 99% of indie mangas try so hard to replicate big shonen titles. I haven't seen an indie manga focus more on more mature themes like Berserk, Neon Genesis, and other seinen. Well, actually, the two that I know of that focus on more seinen type themes are well, it's gonna be like Bloody Hell by Coffee Comics. That guy's everybody says he's crazy, and he just talks crazy because of his audience. Like that's for the views. But yeah, it would be Bloody Hell by Coffee Comics, and then what's his name? Young Wavy. He does um Holy Arc. Holy Arc was actually seinen. Like it actually takes it to that seinen. It earns its seinen rating. But yeah, I agree. Like 99% of indie mangas are so trying to replicate like shonen titles, and they don't do it that well. Like shonen titles are already there. They already exist, and they're not going to be able to compete, and it's not because they're bad artists or they can't compete. It's just that they aren't in the same infrastructure um as other shonen like creators. They're not in the same infrastructure as they are in Japan, so they can't make the amount of content it would take to keep up with that audience, and they can't there's no possibility of there being an anime made out of the stuff. Even for Apple Black, it's almost impossible for an anime to be made of it unless he were to scrap all of Apple Black, either remake it better or make a different thing entirely with a more improved storytelling ability. But yeah, a lot of indie manga like really copy shonen stuff. In the past, the indie manga that I've done has always been horror based for some reason. Like I don't know why, but yeah, it's been horror based. And then with what do you call it? With Air Riders, when I did something that wasn't horror based, like this 31-page comic I did when I was like 16. That was supposed to be for a manga competition, and I missed it. Like I failed. I missed the deadline for it, but this was a horror story. Like this was supposed to be a horror story, and that was the first completed comic that I ever did. And I was just like, oh, you're gonna win with this. No, I didn't win with that. I didn't even make it to the, what do you call it? Make it to the, Jesus Christ, look at all this goddamn dialogue. I didn't even make it to the deadline because I was too busy playing friggin' Metal Gear Solid friggin' online, dude. I got addicted to that for the entire summer, and I was just drawing pages while like trying to keep up. But I got addicted to friggin' like Metal Gear Solid online. Ah, man, that was a good game, dude. And I could play it again today if I just got a like PS3. So, but yeah, man, I was just drawing stuff back then, dude. I was just like, all right, well, I guess I'll draw a bunch of lines here, and man, I should read this. I should read this again one day just to see if like, did I really know anything when I was like 16? I don't know, man. But yeah, this is like one of my first friggin' like efforts to do it. And when I told people like I did 31 pages, they were like impressed, and I was just like, what do you mean? What are you? Why are you so impressed, dude? Like that's just regular. That's just what Japanese teens be doing all the time. Like in fact, I should have done 45 pages because I was comparing myself to like the friggin' Bakuman kids all the time. I was just like, man, they were 14 and I'm 16 and I did 31 pages. Oh, I should do more. I should do better. But yeah, this was like friggin' it was a horror story, and then I was just so happy when I finally completed it because I was just like, okay, I did something. I actually like finished something. So yeah, uh there's at least two that I know of, including Dog Ningen, that is actually more seinen type of story. Casey says, I just dropped a knife on my foot and it bounced off. Jesus Christ, are you good? Jesus. You might have dropped it on the flat side and got lucky. Nice. V Net Fad, he says, did what you learned at the Kubert School influence your current style? In some ways, yes, and in a lot of ways, no. Because they don't really encourage the anime style at the Kubert School. So all of the technical things that I learned about how to balance the black and white shading on a page and how to lay out a page and put that on, like all the technical stuff is what influences me today on in drawing comics, and that's what I got from the Kubert School versus the anime style. That's all me. That's all from the past. Like they don't really encourage it 100% at the Kubert School. So, but if style and you can make and you can draw things like solidly, even using manga style. Like I did this as an assignment during the Kubert School, and it's kind of manga stylish, but because the drawing on the rest of it is good and solid and the coloring is good and solid, they were like, yeah, fuck it, man, this guy can draw whatever he wants. Like if you can make it work, then they don't care what you draw, dude. This was also an assignment in the Kubert School. I colored it after school, but the black and white is what I did in school. So as long as you can draw correctly, then they don't really care about the style. So this was something that I did for a class, and finishing things is the thing that I mainly took from the Kubert School. Like actually finishing drawings were the things that I took from doing the Kubert School, because this is the kind of drawing that this would take me a long time to do today. And well, it wouldn't take me a long time to do today, but in the past I would just not finish things because I was afraid of how they would turn out by the end of it. But because I this was an assignment for school, and then I wanted to show off in front of everybody and be like, hey, look at what I can do. I did. I finished this drawing and I finished it really well. So at the Kubert School, it really taught me to finish things and put them out there. So yeah, that's what the hell? Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is another thing that I did for class. But yeah, it really taught me to finish. That's what the Kubert School helped me with. Disney animation always sucked to me. The stories are really what carried those movies. Yeah, you don't need to you don't need what's the word? Like story is one of the things that will carry like bad art or not as solid art. Like Disney has solid art, like has great art, maybe not as good as like a lot of anime productions in the past, but yeah, Disney has really solid art, and story will always carry off bad art no matter what. Snow White and Fox and the Hound were elite animation. I actually did cry at the end of the Fox and the Hound, and that wasn't even that good of a story, but it was more because of a personal thing that happened between me and a former friend, and that's a story for another time. But yeah, the Fox and the Hound was actually really sad, made me cry. But but it was good animation. It just didn't have that much of a good story. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I've never seen Snow White. I know what it is, and I've seen stuff about it, but I've never actually sat down to watch the whole movie. Hey, what's up, Mister? How you doing, man? Hey, what's up, Ken? You've been killing it on YouTube with these videos lately. Awesome stuff. Appreciate it, man. I'm just grinding it out right now, man. I'm just grinding it out. You did that when you were 16. I'm gonna go ahead and quit now. No, man. That stuff is just I did that stuff because I was just like, man, I gotta try to prove myself in the Japanese side of things, man. That's what I was doing. Um, my drawing skills are not even to 16-year-old you, man. There's like freaking 18-year-olds. Let me show you. Like, there's 18-year-olds who are just like cooking me, dude. And I'm just like, how are they doing this? Um, and they just have so much access to higher level information these days that I'm just like, man, how I need to catch up to them at their age. I'm just like, dang. Um, Me and my one of my like writing buddies, we call them drawers. Like they're good at drawing, but they might not be good at stories. So he calls them drawers. Okay. Okay, yeah. Let me show you this guy. Hey, get a look at this guy. Look at it. This is from manga artist. Where did he used to say his age? And it was 18. He's 18 doing this. This looks like it's from a Shonen Jump friggin' manga series right now. That's currently going. And this is going to be from a newer series that he's trying to do. It says Atarashi Yomi Kiri Shiteimasu. So that means he's doing a new one shot. That's what that says. And if you don't believe me, show translation, nigga. I'm doing a new one shot. See, dude, I know Japanese, man. I read that shit all the time. And see, look at this stuff, man. I'm like, bro, how? How are you doing this, man? And I just cry a little bit, because I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to catch up to this level of like artwork with Saintly, and it's just not quite there yet. But that's why I'm like drawing every single day and every single night. But my storytelling is at least high enough to keep up with my writing or with my art ability, and now I just have to level up my art ability to match this level of story. Like, look at this. This is insane. Like, this is a high level of friggin' like color theory mastery. And look at the belts. Like, he can just draw, man. Like, he just knows how to draw. Like, if I can't at least catch up, I'm gonna catch up to this level, and then I'm gonna draw Saintly like better than what I'm doing right now. Like, in the following chapters, just catch up to this. Like, this is cool. Like, he's definitely using what's the word, like a cool color scheme for this piece. So this is Shifting Eyes, and I guess he was doing that for a while. This is on paper. Wait, hold up, I'll go back. Damn it. Okay, here. I'm still glazing. Hold up. Where is he? Yeah. I was just like, yo, okay, I gotta at least be able to do this. Like, this guy, I would say is above DD Mark level. I'm just gonna say it. It's above DD Mark level. Sorry, but this guy is the guy to beat, man. Like, he's just that good, dude. And this is on paper. Look at that. This can't be AI, dude. It's on paper, man. So I'm pretty sure this guy is maybe French. Oh yeah, they just have a high level of ability. But also they're 18 and they live with their parents, and they they don't have to pay bills, so they have all the time in the world to be like drawing and figuring all that stuff out and all that stuff. Like, and plus this guy is like a 1 in 10 million talent. Like, this is not normal. Like, this is super high level ability. And like, you shouldn't like feel bad if you can't, like, if you're not at this level or don't reach this level anytime soon. Like, it's unusual how good this creator is. So I'm just like, I admire it, and I'm just gonna keep drawing until I catch up and then surpass them. You know, but that's just in my head. I'm always thinking like that. What was the question anyway? My drawing skills are not. Oh yeah, that wasn't your question. Okay. Massive Panda, he says, my brother took. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it says my brother took an art class in college and was assigned a project with no rules about style. He did it in manga style and received an F. Damn it! It was an awesome drawing. Sad. Yeah, that's how it goes, man. They in our college they don't play about manga style, because manga style. The thing about it is like there's some styles or manga style that are just so broken in how they look that if you emulate that, you're gonna be drawing incorrectly, and that's what they're afraid of. I think. Like I figured out manga style really, really early on. To the point where the whole reason why I did Air Rider was to try to draw differently from manga style and like separate myself a little bit from it, but it didn't really work. But I would draw manga style all the time when I was younger, because I figured it out. Like, just make the eyes work a certain way, isn't it? It's not in order for some reason, but I think it's because I'm not logged into my own account. But yeah, I figured it out early and I wanted to escape it, but yeah, it's always looked down upon in schools and whatnot. But yeah, this is how I used to draw all the time. I'd always like draw like this and draw in anime style when I was younger. 18, 19, that kind of thing. Let me see, what was I creating at 19? There was a piece that I did where I finally figured out how to draw. Okay, yeah, this was like when I was 18 in high school, like before I graduated. I was doing like painting. I was figuring out watercolors because I couldn't afford Copic markers, so I had to use watercolors to figure out how to color with like color theory and whatnot. And then this was the kind of stuff I was doing at that age. I was doing more cartoon stuff rather than like bombastic like anime. And even to this day, I still have more of a cartoonist style, so I can't really like. It's hard to shake it. Trying to find a piece that I did closer to that age. There's one piece called. Let me see. Yeah. This is one thing I did when I was younger. 2015. Yeah, I was 19 at that time. So that was when I figured out a good way to use colors in digital, and this was one of my portfolio pieces for the Cubert School. There's stuff wrong with it, and it's like not the best like leg anatomy, but I was pretty proud of it back then. But let's see what other questions. Diary Gaming, he says, in my opinion, foreign mangakas really limit themselves by seeing Japanese media as the only standard. You can make an even greater story using elements from different media forms and stuff. Yeah, that's partially why I made that video where I talked about how we can go beyond manga style, where there's so many different things that other comics outside of Japanese manga are doing, that if we don't look at them Let me go. Let me show you. Yeah, so that's what this whole video was about right here, where I was talking about like what lies beyond anime style and how can we actually like think about creating art in a way that is not always glazing manga style, because like everyone loves it, it's the most popular and everyone tries to emulate it and draw like it, but and emulate the the idea forms and the storytelling style. Like the storytelling style is really strong, but it's not the only thing, and it's not the best. It's not the best thing ever in the whole world. There's ways to do things differently that are just as interesting, if not more. Let me see if I can pull up an example that I had. Give me a sec. So when I talk about stories that could be better, or not better, but stories that utilize the comic media in a way that manga doesn't or can't. I was looking at pages in Cerebus, like in a later volume. I haven't read even past the second volume because I was like, and this is all about political, well, not political stuff per se, but political stuff within that world. It wasn't about like politics in the real world, but it just wasn't as adventure fighting and stuff like it was in the first volume. So I was like, oh man, I tapped out a few times, so I gotta try to get back into it and develop my what's it called, what's the word, attention span again. But yeah, it draws pages like this that look like super realistic and interesting. It plays with the medium. It's doing different things. There was one page in particular that I'm going to do a video about eventually, where a character talks to Cerebus so coldly that her words actually freeze and land on his head, and it becomes a physical object in the world. Like that shit was so hilarious that I was just like, wow. It like, and he moved his head with it, and it's just like, that stuff is genius. Like, how do you even think about that? And this angle has always been very interesting to me. Like the color, and it's not even colored, but it's in black and white, and the staging and the black and white balance of tones that he's using to, and then the way he does the words. It's not something that you see in manga. The way he's doing the sound effects, stomp, 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 and then the way he's making it smaller as the quote unquote time in the panel as you read, because you're reading side to side, down, side down, side down. Time goes like lower and lower into the panel, stomp, 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 as she gets further away. He's thinking about these things. He's thinking about it. And then the next panel, you see flip, flack. And that's because she's going to a tent. Like she's going to a tent that they're camping out in. And so So he visually represented how those what those words would sound like. He visually represented them and showed them like physically. I gotta find you the best panel where it shows. Is my stream showing all right? All right. Where it shows that icy thing, because that was so creative. And the thing about Cerebus is like, not only is he doing that with the cartooning, he's doing he's able to very accurately represent other um foreign accents through the way he writes the dialogue. So when there was one comic where there was a character from, maybe I think Rolling Stones or something like that, and he was talking in a deep or in a heavy like English, British, I don't know, Manchester, I don't know where it was from, but he was talking in a very heavy like British accent, and it was so it sounded like, when you read it, it sounds like, oh, this is, I can hear this guy. I can hear what he's saying as he's saying it. And Cerebus is full of stuff like that. I just wish, I want to get past the second volume so I could just get to the third and then read the fourth. And then I heard that the fifth is like the peak. Like the peak of the story, where it just gets really, really good. And I'm just like, man, that's the part I want to read. And I can't just jump to it and be like, okay, I'm here. Let me experience peak. No, I have to actually exercise my friggin' like attention span and read through and get to that point. And then once I'm there, actually fully enjoy it in context. It's not like an anime where I can just let it kind of pass over my eyes and sit there passively and enjoy it. Like, I have to like read the book, engage in the content, and get to that point of the story. But I just have so much else to do in life in general that I can't just leisurely like take my time and read into it and get to that part. I have to make time, just like force there to be time, or just like, I guess I could do the same thing that I'm doing with my what do you call it, with my drawing and whatnot, where I just have the books by my bed and I'll just read a few pages in the morning, read a few pages at night, and just kind of do it like that. But I found it. That was difficult, but here it is. It's like the main character says a word. He says Jaka. He's talking to I guess his girlfriend or whatever, and then she says what, and it was so cold that, like, in comics, whenever somebody says something coldly, there's usually like kind of a generic iciness to the shape of the speech balloon, but this was so icy that the snow from it went onto his head and it stayed there. And then in the next panel, like, he turns his head and it's still there. It's like it became a physical object how cold she was talking to him. And this could actually be some ice that came from some object anywhere else in the story, but this is high level advanced cartooning that I've never seen done in any manga, because they just don't have, I don't think they have the time or the space to play around like this. But this was super, super creative, and I was just like, I can reach that level. Like, because I've seen this done, maybe I can reach that level. And this is what I mean when I say going beyond manga because you want to advance yourself, advance the medium beyond what is normally used so that you can take it to the next level. And that's what my whole channel is about, is evolve storytelling, like evolve storytelling to that next level and go beyond everything that you're seeing. And the best way to do that uh is by questioning the why behind everything. Question the why behind why do comics do this, or why are things like this? Um how is this possible? And once you question why, you can figure out like, okay, they're doing this like this because um it's more interesting, or they're doing things like this because it looks more visually appealing, or it's just quicker to do it that way. A lot of what people are copying in manga and anime is um the visual shorthands that they're using just to get their meet their deadlines. So that's why um manga looks so approachable and easy to do, because they're just drawing fast to meet deadlines and whatnot. But yeah, yeah, that was a great comment, Diarrhea Gaming. Paul Philippot, he said, I used a sort of hybrid Western style comics with manga style. Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I've seen the highest level guy who does that is Jorge Jimenez, somebody I talked about in a recent video. Massive Panda, he says, the art in Cerebus is awesome. Didn't Dave Sim eventually get an assistant to help with the backgrounds and whatnot? Yes, his name is Gerhard, and yeah, he did all the backgrounds on. I don't know which volume he started in, but yeah, it definitely elevated that art to the next level, and he got Gerhard on backgrounds. Um, so yeah, Star says very creative. Yep, that panel is really creative. Massive Panda, he says, Diary Game One. It's like, why not pull all the techniques from all over to make for a better storytelling experience? Exactly. Yeah, because there's so many high level storytelling um, techniques in uh, other mediums that if you're able to pull from them, then you can create a better reading experience. Something, even it's possible to go even beyond manga, or beyond the depth and level of feeling that you get from manga, because you have the ability to color things. So you have more tools to work with. If you're making American comics, you have more things that will allow you to create something better than what you're getting in manga. Well, not better, but something that will allow you to more deeply impact the emotional experience of the reader. I think that's possible if you just look beyond everything that manga is giving you, and then try to create something more, create something stronger. Just take the why behind why they create manga the way they do, and then use those first principles to work up from there and make something better. Have you read Witch Hat Atelier? They do some crazy stuff with pages and paneling. Yes, I've read the first volume of Witch Hat Atelier, and it is very awesome. The things that they do with paneling and page layout and pacing and setup. It's really cool. Especially how they demonstrate magic and how it works. And it was a really fun read. Um, and I'm hoping it doesn't let me down in the story going forward, like after that first uh volume. But I have to read more in the future to really find out. But volume one was really high quality. It was really good. The anime was supposed to come out this year, but I guess they went back to the drawing board because they were like, yeah, it's not high quality enough put it out there. So we're gonna make it even better before we actually premiere the first episode. So I guess they're gonna do it next year, and that's when that manga will really blow up. So buy your volumes now before it really like blows up and goes out there, man. Because the Witch Hat Atelier is gonna blow up as soon as the manga drops, or as soon as the anime drops, and then the manga volume prices will probably shoot up for a while. So you better get them now. Popping Rico, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? Yeah, appreciate you coming out, dude. It's been a while. I still remember your uh fan art of Air Rider for volume 1 or volume 2, I forget. But yeah, I appreciate it, dude. All right, so I was still working on Saintly. Hopefully my battery on everything doesn't go out and cook me. But let me go ahead and continue working on this. This is what I was doing before everyone interrupted me with all their questions and stuff. So not that it's an interruption at all. I appreciate the questions, dude. Let's see. Okay. Popping Rico says, LA, do you like? Says, do you like the character, man? Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. Appreciate it, dude. Okay. Let me go to this door here and try to just freehand it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get better at drawing backgrounds for sure. That's gonna be one of the things on the list. I have to get better at drawing clothes, designing characters. I have to catch up to friggin' Kari Cosimo, man, because that stuff is dope. I shall catch up in short order. It won't even take long. I'll be right there. Just a few minutes. Stuff like that excites me, seeing artists who are like really good at a young age, because I just like I like thinking about what they're gonna be like, or what they're gonna create in the future if they're already this good. I'm just like, man, I can't wait to finally get good enough to where, not even good enough, but more drawing how I want to draw, or how I envision myself drawing, so that I can get to the point where I'm just like more excited to draw and create more stuff. Like, Alexa, stop. Yeah, my Alexa goes off every once in a while. Well, not every once in a while. It goes off every night. But let me see. Here we go. Yeah, we're just chilling now, basically winding down towards the end of the stream. I'm just trying to draw, basically doing all these little like adjustments here and there. Okay, here we go. I think the music's still on, right? It better be. All right. Okay. Who even knows why these lines are there? Jesus. That's the thing about making so many drawing mistakes. It takes too much time to go back and correct all of them. And you just want to move on to the next bit. Let me turn that layer back on. Okay. I can use that layer then. For some reason, the theme song of Scooby-Doo is playing in my head. And always following it is the theme song for What's New, Scooby-Doo. Because that's what I grew up on, so it just plays in my head. Actually, a long time ago, I used to be completely obsessed with Scooby-Doo. I had to, I loved listening to this cassette tape with, it was a white cassette tape with like the green logo of Scooby-Doo on it. And I used to just listen to that day and night, because it was the only song I ever liked at that point. When I was a kid, it was the only song I even knew of. And the only way I knew how to play any song. So I just played it on this radio with a cassette player until my mom got so sick of it, she hid the cassette from me so I couldn't play it all the time anymore. Because I would just listen to it. I was obsessed to it with the theme song all day and all night. And I would sing it and just enjoy. But that was that's just how some properties can like really impact people. Massive Panda, he says, that is so true. I had to tell myself to start letting some of my mediocre panels slide. I can't spend forever redoing panels or the comic will never come out. Yep. A lot of panels, like, you just have to be like, all right, that's it, and call it, and then just move on and go. Poppy Rigo says, the best episodes in Scooby is when they reveal the villain's identity. They do that in every episode. They do that right at the end. But I don't know if there's even an episode where they don't do that. Maybe some of the movies, but even in that, they reveal the villain's identity. So the best episode you're saying is every episode. I think maybe that's it. All right, here we go. I think my problem is that I literally have too many lines in this story, or too many lines in the art. So it's always because I'm trying to emulate manga so much that I'm doing the work that a background artist would be doing if there was a background artist. But I'm not even good at backgrounds, so I'm not even good at foregrounds. So it's like, fuck. I'm just giving myself more work that I don't need to. Let's see. Okay. And then we'll have this. We'll do some lines here. More important than making it look realistic is just making it be convincing enough. Just needs to be convincing enough. That's all. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Nice. Um, VNet Fad says, "What you reading currently?" I'm reading. I've been reading through Kenshin again because it's one of those evergreen series that never really gets old, even though it's kind of old fashioned. Like it never really. It's one of those series that's never bad throughout its whole run, and it just the more I look back at it, the more I enjoy it. Mostly because I'm identify with the main character so much. Because we're just about the same age at this point. Like he was 28, I'm 29, but yeah, I really identify with the main character, and I like the story, how the story is mature, even though it's not, um, even though it's shonen, it's still able to convey mature themes without being grotesque about it or being weird about it. It's still able to convey those themes in a very strong manner and stay thematically consistent from throughout the entire run from beginning to end. So I've just been reading through that and like enjoying it. I've been watching the anime again too because it's just the original anime because it is so good. Like it has so much like style and energy to it that I can't really put it down. So I've just been watching through that again, and it's good. I'm on the Shishio arc now, and then I've been also reading through Bakuman again because it's helping me like rededicate myself to my craft and to my art because Bakuman, like the main character, he's really not about anything at the beginning. Like he's just like going through life, going through his day to day. He doesn't really care about anything. It's just like whatever. But then um this guy comes along and wants to become a manga artist with him. And so then like now he's fired up about drawing and fired up about life, and he's just like, I've never given my all to anything, and this is what he's all about. So that's why I'm reading through Bakuman again because I really identify with the main character in this, and he's only 14, but he's just like, I'm not going to do this half-heartedly. Like I'm going to pour my life into this, and that's the same that I feel for making um my stories. Like I'm gonna pour my life into it, even though all I have right now, most of my life is just working right now. I'm gonna get to a point where I'm just doing comics, and that's the whole goal. All right, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and then finish the stream, and then I'll see y'all in next Thursday. Ken's got his dirty 30 coming soon. I wouldn't call it dirty 30, but yeah, I'm about to be 30, and then maybe people will think I'm 24 because right now they every time they look at me they think, oh, he's 23, 22. I'm like, I get mad because I'm just like, see me as older already. But yeah, 30 is coming up, and I feel great. Uh, let's see. The net says Kenshin and Inuyasha, the two manga I remember my sister reading way back in mid 2000s. She never liked anime or manga as far as I know, besides those two, because they have the same DNA. I'm gonna make a video on this really soon because both of those stories have the same DNA behind them. Like Inuyasha and Kenshin are so close that I don't even know which one came first, but I think maybe it was Kenshin. But yeah, both of them appeal to basically the same audience, I think. Um, says, is Bakuman good for a non-artist? Good for anybody, but if you're a creative type or if you want to do something on your own, strike out on your own, and make a business thing, like it's very motivating. No matter what you're doing, it's a really motivating story. Um, Popping Rico, I thought you were 21. What? Damn it. If only I could just appear older. But yeah, yeah, man. I'm just even Star is like, yeah, you look young. Yeah, it's because I don't drink or do drugs or anything, and I exercise regularly. So I just that's what keeps me young, and also having a goal to pursue keeps me young as well, because I have to keep living to actually succeed. So those are the things that keep me young, looking young or whatever, because I just keep, it's almost like I just keep infusing life into myself because I need to be doing something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Uh, Almost done with this page, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for coming out to watch the stream, and I'll just be here next Thursday. I'm just gonna keep this going, and I'm gonna be posting videos every single day. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going with that, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good night. Peace out.